Hi people! Today I bring Ghost of the Shadowmarket by Cassandra Clare and a myriad of other authors. This is an anthology. Cassandra Clare has been publishing anthologies for some time now. What she does is that like every month or so there is this story that you can download to your Kindle, and then if you wait when all the stories are done, you can buy the omnibus, and you can buy it, I think it's also in Kindle or in paperback. And the thing is, I love Cassandra Clare, I love the world she has created, and I love everything on it. But I have to say that with the anthologies, sometimes I struggle a bit. When I began reading this one, the first 2 or 3 stories were like, really? I mean, they were not bad, but they were not exactly good either. But the thing is, they weren't, if they weren't in the book, nothing would have changed. I know that one of the first stories is about representation and inclusion, because there is this girl who likes to dress like a man and she's attracted to girls. So it's a nice story if you're into inclusion, which I am. But I mean, in the flow of the book, if that story wasn't in, nothing will have changed. And the same thing it's kind of happening to me now that nearing the end of the book, you find it could have had a great ending, but then suddenly there's like 2 or 3 stories that are there in the book, but if they weren't there, for me at least, it wouldn't have made any great impact or change much of the book. I don't know if you feel the same or not, but the anthologies, these kinds of books, they follow like this minor story. In this one we have Jem. You remember Jem from this Infernal Devices trilogy? We have Jem, who's now a silent brother, but he is trying to keep his promise to Tessa, and he is also looking for a lost Herondale, and we are following him as he's struggling to keep being human, but realizing that he's more and more a silent brother, that he's like, every time he feels less, he needs less, and it's like his old self is slipping away. So it's this struggle he has with himself. He has to remember himself that he had a parabatai called Will, and that he loved Will a lot. And there's this girl she's a warlock, she's called Tessa, and he loves her, and every year he goes to see her, and that's the only thing maybe that's keeping him going on and trying to remember that sometimes life hurts, love hurts, but it's the only thing that keeps you human. Because if you didn't experience great things like happiness and joy, you wouldn't experience pain, and you can close yourself off to pain and to people, but then you wouldn't know what love is and joy and relationships and all of that. And he's trying to remain as human as possible. Well, he's looking for, as I said, a lost Herondale. Apparently, there was a kid who was smuggled away, and he's a member of the Herondales, and he's being followed and persecuted, and he wants to help this kid. And that's the main story. We're going to find like side stories. We are going to find the story of Celine and Valentine, and we are going to find lots of stories about secondary characters. We are going to find Alec and Magnus, which are some of my very favorite stories ever, and we are going to find Tessa, as she is a nurse in London when it was being bombed, and we are going to find lots of excellent, incredible, good stories. And the plot of the main one, it's amazing, and I love this Brother Zachariah, who's Jem, struggling to remain human and to remember what it was to feel, and to feel pain and love and everything, because it's all like this whole thing that you cannot choose what you want to feel in life. You have to get everything, the whole package. So I love that a lot, but there's some stories that for me were like a little of a filler, because if they weren't there, nothing will have changed. They are good per se, if you read them separately, but with books of like 800 pages or so, there comes a time in which I want just to finish and just move on to the next book. And if I feel that the last stories are just really not adding anything to the book, you know, it's like, okay, I want to finish it because I want to move on to the next book. And that for me it's a pity, because I would have preferred that some stories were edited or just keep shorter, so the book will have been more powerful or more just, you know, more, I don't know how to say it. But the thing is, I enjoyed this book a lot. It's like maybe a 3/5 stars, and I'm not giving it the full 5 stars because of what I said, that there are some stories that maybe they represent inclusion, or maybe they portray some characters that we hadn't seen in the story before in this anthology, where we have seen them, like the Jace doppelganger. But I don't think those stories were actually needed inside this book. So yeah, if you love the Shadowhunters world, if you love some of the characters like Jem, Tessa, Katharina Loss, Ragnar, Magnus, Alec, the kids, there's even Jace and Claire. You're going to love this one because it's you're going to revisit so many moments of their lives and seeing them from another perspective. And the main story of the book, it's pretty good actually. Jem looking for his sense and his purpose in life, just trying not to forget what was important to him, the people he loved and the people who made him who he is, and also this lost Herondale kid. But there is also some, as I say, it's my opinion, there are also some stories which are good about representation, about inclusion, or about the Jace doppelganger, as I call him, Janus, the Jace from the other world. We are going to see him in this book, but for me, if those stories weren't featured in this book, it wouldn't have changed the content much. But yeah, if you enjoy Cassandra Clare, you're going to love this book, and also it's a good way to know some of the other authors she writes with. And at the beginning of every chapter, we are going to find an amazing illustration. I'm just trying to find one just to show you one. Those kind of illustrations which are amazing. They are actually the covers where they publish the anthology just monthly on Amazon, and as I said, you can download it in Kindle. And yeah, it's a great lecture. So yeah, if you like Cassandra Clare, as I say, this one you will like. Thank you for watching. Bye.